Got to get some hits. Hopefully, you'll get a rejuvenation of confidence this weekend as you try and bounce back from loss in Lexington. You still get at the top of the SEC West. A&M still on the schedule in College Station as you'll head to Bluebell Park this next weekend, which I do have some good news. It was going to be on streaming television. It's now been flexed to regular television. The SEC leaves it that way the last week of the season so they can put on the pivotal games on linear television and cable, which is good for you as an Arkansas baseball fan, considering your team is battling it out for the SEC West. Hope you're safe this morning. I know that there's been a lot of road issues in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. I was up at 2:45 this morning. My roommate woke me up with our dog as the tornado alarm goes off. We're sitting in the bathroom with Maggie, and I know that was kind of probably something a lot of people did this morning.
Tornado sirens went off? I slept right through it.
So did I.
Well, I got up, pulled out of the driveway, went my normal route, turned right. There was a big limb in the road. I was able to maneuver around that. Couldn't go 200 yards, and there's a tree across the road. All right, back up, turn around, dodge the limb again, go the other way. All right, no big deal. Get down by the airport, road's closed. Something down across that road. Back up, go another way. I didn't know how I was going to get here on time. It took 3 times as long to get to work this morning. So be careful out there. Clearly some high winds and this line of storms that moved across going to affect parts of our area this morning. Hey, we're brought to you by the Inn at the Mill. I'm staying there tonight. Love staying at the Inn at the Mill because Jennifer, when I called yesterday to reserve my room, just called, said, hey, Jennifer, it's Tommy Kraft, blah, blah, blah. She had me all fixed up. And I mean, I wasn't on the phone 30, 45 seconds. No phone tree, no press one, no elevator music waiting on somebody. I mean, once you're in their system, they make it so easy. I just love it because they got all your information. They reserve your room, and then it is just really easy. It's truly like a home away from home. Oversized suites, great staff, as I just mentioned, with everyone you talk to. Great breakfast to start the day. High-speed internet, and I love the convenient locations. Close to our studios. It's close to I-49. It's close to all the great restaurants. It's close to campus. It's just right in the heart of everything. 479-443-1800 is their number, 443-1800, or look online at inatthemill.com.
Surprised y'all's dogs didn't wake you up this morning. That's if it's not the first. That's usually the
storms, because we got them crated at night. During storms, they never whimper, nothing.
Howl or anything.
Nothing.
I know certain dogs.
I know that.
One of my old roommate's dogs, he would just, at the slightest bit of thunder or lightning, it was like World War III in that crate. He'd howl and scream and yelp and moan, and it was not a sound that you enjoyed hearing. So anytime there was a storm, tried to get away.
Ours have never been fearful of storms for whatever reason. Neither one of them.
Well, that's good. That's better than.
I didn't even. I'll be honest. I slept right through it. I watched all of that Knicks-Pacers game.
Great game, by the way.
Yeah, great game. Huge illegal screen call there at the end that flipped a possession, and
it didn't look like one to me.
Well,
at the end of the game,
they reviewed it. They reviewed it and upheld it. I mean, I didn't think it fit everything else that had happened in the game.
Dante DiVincenzo deserves an Emmy or an Oscar for the way he acted.
Well, I don't know if it's about acting. I mean, it was a blindside screen. It was about space and time, and I'm not sure there was much left. I think by the definition, obviously by the definition and letter of the law, it's a correct call because it went to review. But great game. I mean, the Pacers had the edge most of that game, and then the Knicks at the end come back and win. Then I fell asleep watching the other game. So.
Minnesota wins game 2 in Denver, and they dominated the Nuggets. So the defending champ has to go now to Minneapolis and try and steal one in their arena, and it's going to be tough. They have the capability to do it, but it was pretty. Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, 2 former SEC standouts, one at Georgia, one for Cal at Kentucky. Big part of that win yesterday for Minnesota.
Did it without Gobert too.
Did he get injured?
No, his wife was having a baby.
Yeah, that's been a big story the last few days.
So, yeah, that was impressive without him.
Do you take all? I guess the question's been. I don't think a regular season game anyone even questions it. question is, do you take off for a playoff game for the birth of a child?
Do you take off a playoff game for the birth of, is it his firstborn, Christian? Secondborn?
They did.
I don't know if they said, but I want to
think
say
firstborn, yes. You go after that?
Speaking to someone that's ever been married or have a child, go ahead and tell us what you think.
I think firstborn, yes. I don't know. That would scare me because of potential complications, and I'd want to be there.
Be there for the child or be there for your wife?
Combination of both. Firstborn, absolutely. I think some men would jokingly say, once you have one, it's not that big of a deal for the rest. But
it's always a big deal.
When presented in that situation, they would be. I think they would be there. So no, I would not give him any grief whatsoever for doing that. But yep, that's not. You got Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe, the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on your Dallas Mavericks. Christian, I saw that Jason Kidd got an extension for what he's done there, and you also have the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers going at each other. It used to be a great series with LeBron James taking on Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. Two different teams, a lot of new faces now, 10-plus years later, and those are the two games in action. I hate the OKC games, the second game, because I won't make it. I'll make it through a quarter, and I'll be out. I mean, I was asleep by 8:30 last night. That's when the 2:40 alarm, or 2:45, or 3 o'clock tornado siren goes off on my phone. So you guys didn't hear it on your phone either?
I did not get an alert on my phone.
We have our tornado siren is right above our house. So that's anytime it goes off, we hear it because it is right above. But I'm surprised y'all didn't hear it on your phone. That thing is loud.
It didn't go off on my phone. I didn't.
It didn't go off on your phone. Did it go off on yours, Big C? You live closer to me than him.
It didn't.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I don't have. I mean, we're not. None of us live more than 10 minutes from each other. But no, I mean, I didn't. Nothing.
That's surprising.
Nothing.
That's odd. Maybe it was. I don't know. I really don't know.
We were in a part of town that wasn't going to get. I don't know.
We would have died, I guess.
Fort Smith is. It seemed like Fort Smith as a whole was in the proximity, but maybe it wasn't. But hopefully, again,
wife's phone didn't go off. Mine didn't go off. I didn't have a warning on it when I woke up. Nothing.
Well, regardless if Tommy or Christian's phone didn't go off, if you were in an area that was in possible trouble, hopefully you're safe and sound this morning. We'll keep you updated here on different delays and stops that may be caused, because you mentioned the trees being down. There was no obstruction on my way to work this morning, but I also had the sirens go off, but evidently it caused enough mayhem this morning around where you live where a couple different roadways may be blocked this morning.
All right, so check that out. I was looking at the Bet Saracen app while we were going over that. Got NBA action on there. There's the SEC softball tournament action is on there as well. NBA games tonight, 6 o'clock, Celtics and Cavaliers. Celtics laying 11.5, over under 208.5, and the Celtics are minus 700. Mavericks and Oklahoma City in the late game. Thunder are giving up 3.5 on the line. Over under is 217.5, and the Thunder are minus 165 on the Bet Saracen app. Check that out, plus tomorrow's games with the Pacers and Knicks and Nuggets and T-Wolves. It's all online. Bet Saracen app. If you haven't downloaded, go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store and get the Bet Saracen app on your phone.
Cal gets another commitment for this Arkansas basketball program and a signee. We'll talk about him coming up. Stay with us. It is a Bandwagon Tuesday.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Morning Rush.
All the Road Hogs have the hog calls and the tailgate ready to roll.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Walk-Ons is always a win. Whether it's a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner, Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and coming soon to Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hi, just keep up the good work. You're a star in the making. I appreciate everything you say and everything you do.
The set, the 3-1. Swung on, hit in the air, deep by Hudson White to left field. There it goes, way out of here. Hudson White, second of the season.
Do you want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, even Ruskin and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
Hogwild and Van Buren texting in on the McLarty Daniel hotline saying he doesn't know if a twister actually touched down, but apparently it was pathed about a mile from him. A lot of down trees, limbs in the Keebler Van Buren Alma area and up by old Highway 71 in Mountainburg. So, update this morning.
All right. Strong delivery. Brought to you by Oaklawn Sports. Hey, Oaklawn, racing is over. Live racing is over, but Oaklawn Sports, there's always a season and always action to wager on. Create an Oaklawn Sports account, make a deposit. You can make a bet of at least $10. It's that simple. And once your deposit's in, you automatically are enrolled in the promotion. So sign up today and qualify for a second chance on your first bet up to $250. Plus, funding for the Oaklawn Sports app has never been easier. Use their debit and credit card options, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, and on-site cash. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with a brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
So you've got now 7 players on this roster as you get a commit from Adu Diero yesterday. I know people are excited to add another player to this Arkansas basketball team. So you got Adu and Adu, and we're gonna do a little spelling bee here for Big C and Tommy. Spell Jonas Adu and spell Adu Diero.
Pass. Can you use it in a sentence?
I'll try this.
Can I get a definition? I'm stalling.
Which one do you want to spell first, Christian?
Jonas Adu.
Don't look it up.
Look it up. I'm not looking it up.
All right, J-O.
What am I doing to look it up?
Jonas.
Okay.
A-I-D.
Okay.
O.
One more O. Yeah, got it. All right. How do you spell Adu Diero?
A-D-O-U-T-H-I-E-R-O.
That's correct.
Wow.
Atta boy.
I did a lot of spelling bees when I was younger. That's one thing I can do pretty well.
He nailed it.
I just have a knack.
I would have butchered that.
I had to look it up this
I'm not
morning.
in the spelling business. I'm not in Clay's business. I'm in the saying it right business.
So it's, again, Jonas's last name is Adu. Adu's first name is that. It's not like Chuck is going to consistently have to say Adu and Jonas Adu a lot, but that is something like first thing I thought of was like, that's not going to be easy on Chuck this upcoming season, having to remember those names back and forth and having to distinguish just a little bit. But again, for Arkansas, he's more of a, I would say, glue guy, like role player, which I was advocating for. Again, you added 3, 4, 5-star freshmen, depending on what recruiting service. You added the highest rated transfer guy in this class, one of the better centers and big men that you could have gotten out of this class. And then you add Zvonimir Avicic, who played for this team last year. Adu is going to be a junior this upcoming season. So you've got 4 transfers that are at least sophomore or greater, and then 3 freshmen now. So it's a good mix thus far. And now you have 6 scholarship spots remaining for this basketball team.
Yep. So it seems like every few days the picture gets a little bit clearer. Seems like Coach Cal has been spending a lot more time in recent days in Fayetteville, and I'm sure hosting recruits and getting staff set. But from just talking with people that have seen him around, he was apparently having dinner the other night down on the square. Him and Kenny Payne and another staff member. So seems like he's doing a lot of his work here from Fayetteville, and it's a matter of getting those guys to come here and see what you got. But again, they're committing to Coach Cal, which is fine. He's your guy, but we understand why it's all happening at this point.
I also saw that's on a positive note, and I guess it's positive/negative. Chris Mortensen's funeral was yesterday, and you had, all these ESPN personalities were in Northwest Arkansas, like Adam Schefter and Chris Berman, and there's 10 to 15 others that were in Northwest Arkansas yesterday. So you mentioned seeing that. I saw that yesterday, too.
I was talking with Clay. He came by the house when I was at the river, and he was going to the celebration of life for Chris Mortensen. And Alex had asked him to speak, and he said he gave the names of who he'd be in between. He's like, I don't know that I need to be speaking in between that. It was a star-studded lineup of what you'd expect to remember such a great reporter and a tremendous, how do you put it more, not just tremendous reporter, but I think the way he lived his life and those that got to interact with him, and I did not spend a lot of one-on-one time, but everyone you talk to would just tell you about the quality of person he was. So I'm the one that missed out on getting to really know Chris Mortensen and his ties here to Northwest Arkansas.
When I was an intern for Bo's show, I would call him weekly, and it was, hey, Mort, is this still a good time for you? Yep, ready to go. All right, we'll get you on just a sec. Yeah. That was the extent of my conversations with Chris Mortensen back in the day. But it was still cool as a college sophomore and junior to talk with a legend and who I watched on SportsCenter weekly and enjoy hearing updates, not just about NFL teams, as I found out from Clay. He was a big Arkansas baseball fan, too. So there were some.
You go back to your buddies and say, hey, I talked to Chris Mortensen on the phone today.
I absolutely did.
You did? Okay.
I absolutely did.
You did that?
So,
I figured you did.
Why wouldn't I? I mean, I was a college underclassman.
You didn't tell him it only lasted about 15 seconds,
no,
did you?
I get to talk with Mort every week, which was, again, it was pretty cool. That was one of the cool experiences that I got to take in each and every week. But he always, again, like there's some interviews that you hear weekly on radio shows that I just tune out or they're not entertaining. I always look forward, not just to have the second or two conversation we had, but just hear what he had to say because, again, he had his pulse, his finger on everything in the NFL, and rare was it that he would report something that didn't come true because of, again, all the Rolodex of different people that he met over the years in that league. And just it was a cool experience, no question.
Hey, all of our championship under construction coverage brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com. It's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Get by and see Wade, Morgan, and the crew at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos all day on Taco Tuesday. If you didn't get enough tacos over Cinco de Mayo, that's today. Nacho average Wednesday tomorrow. $1 off all the nachos tomorrow. And then on Thursday, it will be Throwback Thursday. We'll tell you more about the specials throughout the week. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. You'll find it at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Let's talk about this baseball team, what Dave Van Horn had to say coming up.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
And I'm sure glad that y'all are still able to go to your jobs and help give us something to do besides talk about the bad stuff.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is The Morning Rush.
And he's in. Touchdown, Arkansas.
This is a public service announcement for hard seltzer lovers. Neutral Vodka Seltzer has arrived. Made with simple ingredients like vodka, seltzer, and real juice. Neutral tastes good. Like real good. So good that you'll never want to drink another artificial tasting seltzer again. Neutral's light and refreshing taste will show you what a vodka seltzer can be. Try Neutral, the one with the umlaut. Copyright 2023 Neutral Distilled Spirit Specialty, Los Angeles, California. Enjoy responsibly.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
The name Newmeyer means something in the River Valley. Rib Room and Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. But have you been to their new establishment, the Whippoorwill? Unbelievable Southern food right across the street from Papa's. Southern cooking at its finest, like burgers, chicken fried steak, Mimi's meatloaf, fried green tomatoes, and more. Go to whippoorwillrestaurant.com to check out their menu and daily specials. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're right on, spot on, and I'm with you, buddy. Thanks, Coach.
Smith ahead still 0-2 on Daly. Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a breaking ball. Hagen Smith has struck out the side 3 times today.
The Gimme the Hawks Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
So none of you really have questions about Hagen Smith and Friday nights. But what about after that? What about Molina? What about Tiger? What about potentially throwing Gage Wood in that rotation? Is Will McIntyre going to get back on track? He had 2 good outings of the 3. Again, he pitched a little bit in the midweek game earlier this week. Pitched on Friday and then didn't have a great outing on Sunday. But it's a guy that you desperately need to have some success in the bullpen for postseason. Dave Van Horn had his typical Swatters Club yesterday here in Northwest Arkansas. We're going to talk about some of the things he had to say, starting with the starting rotation.
Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Always the best brands and the best prices and a lifetime warranty. Top-notch service from Chris and Lee J and their entire team. Great parts and service department after the sale for anything you need, from winterization when the season's over to getting started back up when it's time for spring camping, to any other service or body repair need. You know, you back into something, someone backs into you. Those things got to get fixed, and they can do it right at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
We also got our CJ's Trivia Tuesday coming up in about 15 minutes, so if you want to win a $25 gift card, you can do so. Starting, again, with the pitching rotation. What Dave had to say about possible changes coming to that. Here is what he said on the rotation.
We're not sure on it right now. We're going to make sure everybody's good to go and have some conversations and then kind of go from there. So it's been good that, I got to start on Tuesday, threw 3 innings, and then he threw 70-some pitches on Saturday, kind of building them up, and we've been building them up in his bullpens, getting that pitch count going a little bit. So just in case we needed to do this, we'll see how it works out. It'd be nice for our rotation would get back together and roll, but they got to do it.
So I think at the latter part of that statement, if Dave had his druthers, he would go Hagen Smith, Mason Molina, Brady Tiger, or switch Molina and Tiger. But if he could just keep it the same, that's what he would do. But with Molina coming off that injury, Brady, again, had not great outing last time, but he had 2 good outings before that. There's just a question that this isn't like a fan delusion. This isn't a media narrative. This is from the own words of your head coach that Gage Wood could factor into this starting rotation. We'll find out probably on Thursday. Again, we know Hagen. We don't have to worry about who's going Friday night, but Saturday and Sunday, I don't think, and I could be wrong about this, I don't think we will see a change this weekend. But if one of the 2 starters, Molina or Tiger, struggle at home, then I think we'll see a change in College Station next weekend.
I agree. Now, I could see Molina and Tigert flipped Saturday to Sunday, vice versa. Okay. I could see that. But I don't see, I agree with you. I don't think they'll pull Gage Wood into the starting lineup unless there's some kind of injury or arm soreness, tiredness, fatigue that we're not aware of.
Yeah, good point.
With one of those 2. Let's not act like just because Dave spoke, he gave us everything that's in the book. He didn't he didn't tell us everything he knows. So, so if there's something else with an arm, and hey, we're late in the year, arm fatigue, soreness, it's a factor for some. But if you told me, and I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes if Molina goes Saturday versus Sunday and Tiger, same thing, that I could see a change. To me, unless something blows up this weekend with one of those 2 or there's an injury, you want to roll Gage Wood out and see how he does in a start? Game 1, SEC tournament, baby. Put him in there.
Is there more? I don't think that's a terrible thought, but is there more pressure on the road in College Station to potentially win the West, or as you always talk about, throwaway games in the tournament? Because no one really gives,
I think you just answered the question.
Dave will never say this publicly. So if you're going to, with that, because I don't think it's a bad idea, I think there's actually more pressure next weekend in College Station than there will be in Hoover. So
100%.
That being said, with that philosophy, I'd throw them in there next weekend because it's more. You get what I'm saying, right? You're gonna test it.
That's why I would. That's why I would go with, unless something changes or something we see this weekend changes your opinion. There's more on the line next weekend. That's why I wouldn't risk the change. And Hoover, I don't perceive Hoover as anything on the line.
Yeah, I don't either. Okay, now I get where you're coming from.
So yeah, if you lost that game and Wood didn't have a good start, or do you even mess with it? Because all this is so much between your ears as well.
And how much confidence could Brady Tiger or Mason Molina potentially lose if they're pulled from the starting lineup?
Or if Wood had a bad outing as a starter
right before postseason.
You need him in his role that he's serving now as your long reliever. You got to get. You got to get McIntyre kind of back to what we've seen. He was a stud earlier in this year. He's kind of trailed off a little bit. I was having lunch with some guys yesterday, and conversation inevitably came around to hitting and Nate Thompson. Like, guys, you scored 17 runs in 3 games. You know, let's not lay all this at the feet of the hitting because I don't think that's right or fair at all.
And I will bring it up against the number 1 team now in the conference, not just in the East, but in the conference.
That's good, too. But, I mean, it's not like Arkansas was anemic. Now, I know you scored, was it 10 runs in the first game, and you scored, I guess, 7 over the last 2 games. But nonetheless, I mean, this past weekend can't be laid solely at the feet of, you know, of the production at the plate.
Because it was you gave up 11 runs in game 2 and 7 in game 3, if I remember that right.
Yep.
What I will say is when you look at the overall,
and I thought they let go of the rope a little bit on Saturday. The game got over, and I think they realized they weren't coming back, and they substituted and played. I'm not saying they quit. I'm just saying sometimes you realize it's not your day, and you make decisions based on that.
And they had some abnormal defensive issues that you don't typically see from a Dave Van Horn in the outfield, not necessarily the infield. Austin Scott County brings up they had 11 stranded in game 3. They have to hit the ball with runners on base. If I remember correctly, 6 of 33 with runners on base
Timely
in
hitting.
games 2 and 3. I think the fair pushback on Nate Thompson is, and I'm not going to go to the degree that someone him fired or anything but if you look at what Arkansas is hitting this year, it's bottom 4 or 5 consistently across the board. Now their pitching is 1 or 2 consistently across the board in the SEC. But if you look at these statistics in the Southeastern Conference, it's bottom 4 or 5. So this is not just like fans looking for something to be angry at or disappointed at with your baseball team. These are actually areas that are fair to have concern with heading into this season because, again, we come back to the idea of this team is more than capable of getting to a super regional and possibly getting to Omaha. But the question fans have is the hitting going to be enough to get this whole thing done?
That's fair. But, I mean, and maybe this is just because it's easy and it's indisputable. You can't refute this as 40-9 and leading the West. I mean, you can complain all you want and you want perfect. That's the problem. These are amateur baseball players that play at a very high amateur level, but we expect big league perfection out of these guys, and the big leaguers aren't perfect. So, I mean, I struggle a little bit with the criticism when you've won 40 of your 49 ball games. I struggle a little bit with that because you're leading your division, you're in a position to win the whole conference, and you've still got naysayers. And we took a call yesterday morning, someone wanting, hey, if they don't get this hitting straight now, let's replace Nate Thompson. That is the craziest thing to even think, much less say out loud. With the way, I mean, you've won 40 ball games and you got 2 weekends to go, plus a conference tournament, plus all of the postseason. They're going to be in a great position. Would you say they have a great opportunity to have a program high in wins? 51 or 52 wins, I think, would put you at a new season high. You got a great opportunity to do that.
Based on where you are now, yeah.
I mean, I just don't quite get all that.
Here's what I want.
I hear what you're saying about the hitting. Would you like to hit more? Sure. But you're still 40-9 and leading the division.
Mm-hmm. So Arkansas, I was looking back at the 2018 team. I think Chuck made reference to this earlier this week. In 2018, you lost 2 of your final road series, one against LSU and then one against Georgia before. So 2 of the last 3 series that you played in, you lost, and you, of course, went to the College World Series final that year. The best team that Dave, on paper, statistically has ever had was the 2021 team that lost, of course, to NC State in that regional. So
I'm not sure that this team is as good or better than that team.
I would say they're more rounded, as good as Hagen Smith has been. And I don't know. I mean, he's not going to win the Golden Spikes.
I'll say at times they've been better.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but I think we're overreacting to 1 or 2 weekends here.
Yeah. Hagen's not going to win the Golden Spikes because it's going to go to Condon or Caglione most likely. I mean, Condon just hit his 33rd home run this weekend. Georgia is coming on a little bit. The only way that Hagen wins it is just the overall team. Arkansas would probably have to win the West and the overall title for Hagan to even have a shot. But that team in 2021, not that Kops was the only player, but I think there was more pressure on him then than even Hagan now as a starter versus kind of the max/closer role that he played on that 2021 team.
So, I mean, listen, you go to Omaha, you have a good run in Omaha, nobody's going to remember that series they didn't hit well and in the last 2 games at Kentucky. You know, that's not going to be even a footnote to the season if you end up in Omaha. We also have to remember you're going to play Mississippi State, who's number 14 this week, I think, in the D1 baseball poll. You're going to play a A&M team that's a consensus top 5 in most people's opinion. And then what's going to happen after the SEC tournament?
Play other talented SEC baseball teams.
No.
Tournament.
You're going to play the regional
and
then I'm going to here. Let me rub the crystal ball here. You're going to get through these next couple weekends. People are still going to gripe and complain about hitting. You're going to go into the guys. I don't know the way they hit down there in Hoover. I'm not sure. And then you're going to get into the regional, and they're going to beat some poor sap like 17-2. Because you also have to realize you're hitting against SEC level pitching. You're going to get into a regional, and you're going to play a much different level of competition. No disrespect to whoever those teams might be, but they're not going to be SEC level teams. That it all boils down to the regionals, to who the 2 and 3 seed are and how well you do against that 2 or 3 in the second game. And they're going to probably have to face Hagen Smith. And whatever conference they come from, whatever league they come from, as a 2 seed, that means they're probably going to be some other leagues, Big 12 or an ACC school's 3rd or 4th or 5th team, something like that. Probably 4th, 5th, 6th team. It's not going to be SEC level pitching or hitting on their part either.
Yeah, I'm curious if they pitch.
And then we'll see if Arkansas matches up with another SEC team for a potential super. But, they're going to score a lot of runs in the regional, and we're going to think, oh, everything's fine. Well, it's because you're playing really good pitching, and you're pitching against really good hitting virtually every weekend right now. I don't think we're factoring that enough in.
Hagen, curious if they end up pitching him off for that regional. I'll have to wait and see. A couple texts to get to on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Caleb texted and said it's like if I called the firing for Ty because he's not perfect of his job, but he's darn good. Thank you, Caleb. Text of the 8 said, no, real fans don't want perfection. We just want
Funny how one of those tweets never slipped by you.
Make sure to read it.
Never slipped by you.
Real fans don't want protection. We just want to hit well enough to win the series of the week. They failed last week. This is still a good ball club.
Didn't fail last week. They lost. That's not failing.
Josh texting in. Every baseball team on earth wants to hit more. Trust me. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. That's a good one.
Jamie May, we are hitting. At what point are we trying too hard to drive runners in? We are not good at moving a runner, just bringing them home. Austin from Scott County, Wilsmeyer and Diggs were combined 0 of 35 coming into game 2. Now, I think Kendall, if I remember correctly, hit 2 of 4 in game 1. I think that was the game that he actually hit either a double and a single, if I remember that right. So you need him to get back on track. He was 4 for 12 this past weekend. But, yeah, prior to that, he was not good. I'll give you that, Austin.
Trey and Paris on the McLarty Daniel hotline. If we were playing our absolute best, people would say, I wish we would lose a game or a series before the postseason. Spot on. That's exactly right, Trey.
We're just looking
I mean, we can't be pleased as fans.
Looking for something to complain about on.
Just listen to what people are saying. And it's just nuts. Nuts.
I don't think that some of these criticisms are unfair, though. Like, I referenced. I mean, do you have
won 40 games.
But
40.
Okay, the bar has been set to like the would you say the minimum now for fans' expectations, whether fair or not, is to make it to Omaha?
I think
has that been moved to that?
That's fair. I would say host a super regional. I think being a top 8 national seed. I mean, there's so much timing and luck involved in avoiding the hot team, as we saw a couple of years ago. But I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't push back from what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I think every season we expect to have a shot at Omaha.
We saw last year firsthand when TCU came in and beat the brakes off Arkansas that even like some of those issues that were, again, shot down or said, oh, this won't matter, they're at home, blah, 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 they came to fruition. I think fans are really concerned after being bidden last year that even though this team's really, really good, as they were last year, as they were in 2021, 2022, you had to go on the road as a little different team, but I think they're snake bitten by those two series, the one against NC State and then the not just losses, but blowout losses against TCU. You think of those,
Well,
how
what's
that's
that got to do with this team?
It's recent
What's
memory.
that got to do with this
it's
team,
recent memory. Because there's a lot of similarities between those teams with really good pitching and this team that has questionable hitting at times.
But
that's
those rosters and this roster, by and large, vast majority, not even close to the same players.
But they see, and that's right, but they see the stats, they see the issues, and that's where fans are wondering. It's like, I want to be talking about Arkansas, and this is a fan perspective. They're saying, I want to be talking about Arkansas baseball all the way through June. And first weekend, you didn't talk about it after that. And so, again, these concerns that people have texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline, we can't just shoot them down because they're real. There's one that's go over the top, and then there's ones, again, you can't push back against the batting.
I don't care what happened 2 years ago.
It's last year. You didn't have 2 years ago.
2 years ago was NC State. Last year was TCU. I know.
3 years ago.
So
2 years ago, you went to Omaha.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't care. But those are the references you're pointing. I mean, so we're only going to focus on the failures? You didn't bring up anywhere in all that going to Omaha.
I just mentioned the team that went was different from.
But you're justifying these ridiculous concerns at this point based on what's happened with a roster that has nobody on it from this year's team. Or a handful of players, maybe, but just craziness.
There's a good chunk of players from last year's team that are on this year's team, and again,
back 3 years. I mean, this NC State. I mean,
what I'm justifying is not the extent of, again, the fire Nate Thompson, but when you have someone that voices their opinion that this team can't hit in key situations, we've seen that several times this year, even at 40-9, where they've gotten away with it because of really good pitching, but we've seen multiple times over the course of Dave Van Horn's tenure that pitching is not always the solution to win games. Sometimes hitting prevails. More often than not, hitting prevails. How do you win games? Scoring runs. And that's an issue for this team this year.
Good thing the fans don't play.
Jimmy's in Conway on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on this?
Top of the morning to you, fellas. Hey, there's two things I want to talk about here. You know, we're 40-win team right now, and we're not hitting. You know, you got to be optimistic about that. Thinking,
exactly.
When we start hitting the ball, look out. You know, that's my hope. Now, on the flip side, my fear is at some point, Hagen Smith is going to lose a game.
Yep.
And when they beat him, how is this team going to react? Are they going to be Superman just went down? Are they going to fold up or are they going to rise up? You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but, you know, you get in a regional and somebody happens to beat him, are they going to give it up? You know, I don't know what the team made of. We're going to find out. But, you know, he's probably not going to be perfect. I'd love for him to go undefeated the rest of the year. But it could happen, and if it does, it's a big deal for the psyche of those guys. If their leader can't get it done, then maybe they just fold up. I hope that's not the case.
And I'm going to guess that possible loss, which I don't know if Hagen's going to go undefeated the rest of the way. I know Blaine did a couple years ago. Isaiah almost did it, but that loss is probably not going to be on him. It's probably going to be because he didn't get any run support. And that's a fair question to ask, how this team is going to handle, like this weekend or next weekend in College Station. I don't want it to happen, but based on some of the caliber of players that you see,
it almost sounds like you want it to happen so you can be right, you know?
I want this team to win the national championship, Tommy. You know that.
But you keep arguing as though, hey, I hope they go into a hitting slump they can't get out of so I can win my argument. I mean,
when did I say that this morning?
Huh?
When did I say that?
I mean, that's almost like how some of these texts and just some of the narrative is, well, I hope we don't so I can say I was right. I mean,
I don't think 99% of our listeners think that.
You know?
They want to win a national championship. Come on. You don't actually think our listeners think that they'd rather be right.
We're 40-9 and we're complaining. I don't understand. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I guess there's no issues whatsoever with this.
I didn't
baseball
say there were
team.
no issues, but we're acting like the sky is falling. It's crazy.
All right, we can move on.
I guess they should hit 400 in every game.
All right, let's move on from that. All right, it's
God.
that time of the morning. It's CJ's Trivia Tuesday here on a Tuesday.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious.
There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
All right, we're going to have Sherilyn Gassaway, co-owner of Mystic Dan, join us in about 10 minutes from now. There's been a lot of horse racing talk this week because, quote-unquote, Arkansas won this weekend in Louisville, Kentucky. Secretariat is really, Tommy, the only horse name that I knew, and because it's the most popular Triple Crown winner back in 1973. I just don't know, and this is not a sport I follow or anything. All right, here's our CJ's Trivia Tuesday trivia question. $25 CJ's Trivia card on the line. Call, not text. Call 877-377-6963. Do you know Secretariat's? Don't say it. Don't say it, Big C. Do you know Secretariat's other nickname?
I don't think I do.
It has ties to Arkansas.
Okay.
What is Secretariat's other nickname that he was commonly called as other than Secretariat?
I'm sure it came up in the movie. So
yeah, it's already
which I've seen in the movie.
Austin already texted. You
Yeah,
gotta add one
yeah.
more. You gotta add one more letter, Austin, to your text. But the reason I bring this up is because it has a connection to the Arkansas Athletics Department. Again, what is the other nickname for Secretariat? That is our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question. You remember
Have you
now?
seen the movie?
Diane Lane's in it. Of course I've seen it.
Do what?
Diane Lane's in it. Of course I've seen
that's
it.
Great. I probably watched that movie, I don't know, 10 times.
Any Diane Lane movie I have seen. Any Diane Lane movie I'm going to watch.
Okay.
It's fantastic. All right, Big C, who we got on the line?
Mike in Lake Washita.
Mike is in Lake Washita this morning. Mike, what is the answer to our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question?
Go Big Red.
That is it. That is it. Again, Big Red, the nickname. Again, Mike in Lake Washita. Appreciate you answering our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question. The best burgers, the best fries, best shake, and the best chicken sandwiches in not just Northwest Arkansas, but in Russellville as well. You got two great locations. You can see Keith and his team at the Fayetteville location off Weddington, and then also Keith, Sally, and their team at the Russellville location as well. The original off Arkansas Avenue. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Hour 2 coming up. Sherilyn Gassaway, co-owner Mystic Dan, joins us next.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
It's a good day to be in Arkansas. You know why? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1.5 million. And the best part? The winning ticket can only be sold in Arkansas. Maybe today. Maybe even to you. Can you imagine? There's a jackpot drawing every Wednesday and Saturday night. So your next chance to win is coming up very soon. Try Lotto today for only $2 per play. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
This is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
I'm Jim Cash III, owner of the Diamond Center. I invite you to come visit us for all your jewelry needs, including celebrations, purchases, repurposing, or jewelry repairs. The Diamond Center offers the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, along with complete custom design for all those special occasions. My family's legacy in jewelry goes back 4 generations. We strive for excellent customer service, integrity in our pricing, and jewelry of the very best quality and craftsmanship. This is all backed by our exclusive free lifetime warranty. Come see us at the Diamond Center, celebrating a legacy of love.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
It's spring cleaning sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Savings from 50 to 75% off on select clothing, footwear, hunting and fishing equipment, casual clothing, hunting clothing, work clothing for men, women, and children, work boots, safety shoes, western boots, all 50 to 75% off. Rods, reels, baits, hunting equipment, all 50 to 75% off. Select group of handguns, rifles, and shotguns in the firearms department at cost or below. Don't miss the big spring cleaning sale at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunshine, a chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms early. Our high this afternoon right around the low to mid 80s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low upper 50s to low 60s. And then Wednesday, we're looking at a few rain showers, few thunderstorms. Our high temperatures on Wednesday into the mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
It was a tough month physically and mentally. A couple days off and then just a little downtime, not having a midweek game should pick up their energy level, some strength, and it doesn't. The past is the past. We're in a good situation with our wins where we're at, and we need to just go forward. From here on in, we just need to swing the bat.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text the Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Hey, maybe some of you want some money this weekend on Mystic Dan. I know you're probably happy to see an Arkansas connection, Arkansans win in Louisville, Kentucky at Churchill Downs this weekend. Well, what was it like to be there? What was it like to sit next to Sam Pittman, Jamie Pittman, and the rest of the Arkansas crew that ended up taking home the 150th anniversary of the Kentucky Derby? Well, we'll get some first-hand experience from Sherilyn Gasaway, who joins us momentarily here on the Morning Rush here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline as we get going in hour number 2.
Brought to you this morning by the Fence Man. Anything you need involving a fence, whether it's gating, fencing, maybe you need razor wire or barbed wire across the top of a fence for added security, the Fence Man can do that for you. 782-3936, powered automatic gates. It's hard to find someone that knows how to install them. Harder to find someone to work on them. The Fence Man does both for you. 782-3936. When it comes to fencing, gates, and controlled access systems, call the Fence Man. 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Sherilyn, appreciate you making some time for us this morning. Has it set in yet? I mean, is it set in that you guys won on Saturday as a team?
I'm telling you, we're just kind of coming up for air, and it's just been absolutely unbelievable. I think that when we finally made it to be one of the top 20 amazing contenders for the Kentucky Derby, I mean, that's such a hard thing to do. People always ask me, how many times have you been to the Derby? I'm like, are you kidding? Never. So when we made it and then to win, it's just been surreal. It really has been.
So you're the former CFO of Altel. I mean, you're on the JB director board or board directors. I would guess that you've had some pretty intense, pretty big meetings over the years. Has anything caused you to be more nervous than this past Saturday?
Well, honestly, I mean, I don't know why, but I really felt so good about this horse and being with him all week long leading up to the race. I don't know. I think maybe the post position draw, I was more nervous there than I was when we actually got to the gate and settled in. He had been so perfect. He was not nervous, despite being there with over 150,000 people. He was just so calm. And having the 3-hole, having the plan, having Brian Hernandez, who is so smart in how he handles every situation. I don't know. I had a great confidence about him, and I know we were not really very well respected in terms of thinking that we could possibly win. But, we were only one of 2 horses that had over 100 buyer coming into this race. And so I just had a confidence about him.
Yeah. Tell us about the experience of the Derby. You mentioned the 150,000. We see the drone shots for overhead. And It's just people everywhere. What, not just sitting in an owner's box, but just as a horse racing fan, what was the experience like going and seeing the Twin Spires and being at Churchill Downs for the biggest day in racing in the world?
Yes, and my husband and I have been a number of times. We have some partners at Twin Creeks Racing, and they've been gracious to offer to let us come and tag along with them a few times. So we had experienced it before, but our partners had never been there and said they basically would not go there unless they had a horse in the Derby because it is so overwhelming. It's people everywhere. And, being able to move around the track, on a day like that, very limited. You can only go certain areas based on where your seats are and things like that. And so I think being there and then after the race being hustled through the tunnels to get to different places and stuff, I mean, it was just actually unbelievable. That the track has grown so much. I told someone the other day, I said, if you think about how it leads up to it, now they have a 5-0 Tuesday, and then they've got races Wednesday, and now Derby is huge, and then the Oaks, and then the Derby. We won on a horse that my husband bought right when we got into the business. He named this horse after me. She broke her $10,000 maiden win there, but it was a $10,000 claiming win on a Thurby. There was no one there. I mean, it was, and that was like 12 or 13 years ago. And then to be there on a Thurby or a 5-0 Tuesday, it's packed. I mean, I was on the backside on Tuesday when the races were going on, and Mystic Dan, I'm out there with Kenny, and he's like, here, you can hold him. And so I'm taking him around and letting him graze. There's tractors coming by, all of the commotion, the music, everything. He's just chill. Nothing phases him. So I don't know. I think it was just unbelievable to be there. All the noise, all the commotion, and then after winning, wow. That's all I can say.
One of the cool things about horse racing is so many people can have a piece and a hand in it, and I know in the business it's called the connections, but with fractional interest and ownership, and you got the trainer. But the thing that's neat for me is not just your family's roots to Arkansas and actually being Arkansans, but so many roots outside of the state that have made Hot Springs their home. And probably regardless of who the winner would have been out of the 20 horses, in many cases there would have been a tie, Cheryl, back to Oaklawn, because Oaklawn is such a part-time home for so many in the business.
Well, Oaklawn has certainly made a name for themselves, and they've been around for over 100 years. But it's certainly a place where we like to race because we are Arkansans and we are close. And Lance also, and the Hambies. I mean, there's no better place to be than right in our own backyard for racing. The purse money is unbelievable. I mean, when we started in the business, we had some Louisiana breds. Well, I mean, the money in Louisiana is nothing in comparison to what it is at Oaklawn. And so you are able to actually invest in a horse that has that may cost a little more or what have you, because in this day you might actually be able to get money, get your money back because of the purse structure, and that really is what makes it so available for everyone else. So we are grateful for Oaklawn and for all the things that they do. We really do love being there.
Sherilyn Gassaway is our guest. She and her husband Brent are the co-owners of Mystic Danning, along with a couple Arkansas families. Sherilyn, take me back. You mentioned Louisiana. Take me back to '89 when you're in Ruston. You're about to graduate.
Yes.
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, think you'd be in a situation like this? Had horse racing entered your mind in college back then?
No, it hadn't. And you mentioned that. I was the CFO at Alltel. I mean, I'm a numbers person. I mean, if you go pull up a business case for being a horse owner, unless you have a horse that does something wonderful like this, it is kind of hard to make the numbers work. And when Alltel was bought by Verizon, and we were kind of semi-retired, my husband's like, can we buy into a part of a horse now? And I still was kind of keeping the clamps on it because I just was like, we can't let this get out of control. I mean, if you have too many interests, I mean, the bills just keep coming. You've got to have some winners to pay for them. And with us, we have 4 mares and we have a lot of babies on the ground. Well, they're not bringing any money in. So you've got to have some that are paying the bills. And that's really the way that I've looked at it, is like, I just hope that we've got a few that can pay the bills for all of them. And then what if we hit a really good one? I mean, that's what makes the business case work.
It's literally like the lottery. When you think about all you think about all the horses born 3 years ago, and then to be one of the 20 that hit the starting gate, it's a fraction of a percent.
It is a fraction of a percent. And then, we are so blessed. We're so grateful.
Sherilyn, I know that you and Brent already got the WWE Championship belt, which I thought was pretty cool. Yes. I didn't know that was a part of it. But I
did not either.
I could see you and him kind of looking stunned when I watched that video because I had no idea that was tradition. I know this weekend has probably been overwhelming. But we did get a text here on the McLarty Daniel hotline. It's probably, and we can't let you go without asking. Freakness coming up. Have you guys committed or not committed to do that in a couple weeks?
Well, we wanted to see how he came out of the race. And I would tell you, the first night that after the race, I mean, he got back to the track, back to the barn late. He didn't eat all of his feed. That's sort of normal for him after something big like that. Kenny stated in the press conference that, hey, I ran this colt back, 2 weeks after he had a big number. That was his second race, I think. And then, he got a lung infection. And so we're going to be very careful and cautious about it. So he hasn't made it to the track yet. Tomorrow he will go to the track. And so we'll see how he does. But Kenny did call last night and say, hey, he's really eating up this feed tub. So, we haven't committed because we have to see how the next few days play out. So I guess it's a possibility, but we don't know yet.
Sounds like a wait and see. Well, Sherilyn,
we're all excited. Yeah. We're excited for you. We're excited for Arkansas. This is cool. So.
It is amazing. It really is. Thank you all so much for your interest, your support. I mean, it's just been overwhelming.
All right, Sherilyn Gassaway, part owner and a connection with the Kentucky Derby winner, Mystic Dan, here with us on the Morning Rush. All right, we'll get back to college baseball in just a minute. We're brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter, Benton, and Washington counties. You're looking for a new job or a new gig, they've got it for you. They're looking for licensed CDL drivers, heavy equipment operators, concrete finishers, diesel mechanics. You've got experience paving or with asphalt, with concrete or asphalt, they have a job available for you right now. Great pay, benefits, retirements that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing as well in their benefits package. Apply online at jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group, they are equal opportunity employers.
We'll get to our Morning Rush Daily question when we return.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com. Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to...
This video is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Men, this is a big weekend coming up. Do not forget, Mother's Day is this Sunday. Do not forget, or your wife or your mom is going to be as mad at you as you've ever been. As we welcome in our friend Bruce Stanton of Pradco Official. What did you say, Tommy?
Unless you want to sleep outside, don't forget.
Yeah, that is not something. So our Morning Rush Daily Question, as Bruce joins us, what is the holiday that you typically forget about? And you can throw in your anniversary if you want to. You can throw in your wife's birthday, who may or may not be listening. What is one that you forget? I've got to be perfectly honest. I always forget about Easter. I'm really bad about that.
How do you forget Easter?
I'm forgetting again.
Really?
I'm bad about that. This is the first time I've gone home for Easter since I think I moved here. Oh, I made a point to go home this year to be with my family.
Man, you're going to roll up to heaven and Jesus going to say, hi.
Remind me again, where did you graduate high school?
Little Rock Christian Academy. Again, this is self not taught. This is self-evidence of stuff that I need to change, and I made a point to go home this
Sounds
year.
like
But
your priorities need
that
some
is a
adjustment.
as they just were. That's why I said I went home. And I don't want to talk to you about that. But what is
Talk
the
to me
holiday?
about what?
What is the holiday that you forget typically? What is the one that you're bad about? I was like, oh, man, I forgot about that. That's coming up. What is not one that's just ingrained in your mind?
I mean, it's probably not a holiday, but I struggle with birthdays. Like, I can remember YN's October 27th. I hope I got that right. But, the kids, mom and dad, my brothers, man, I'm terrible at birthdays. Just terrible.
My dad's is the February 23rd. My brother's is April the 7th. And I couldn't tell you my stepmoms or my 3 stepsisters or my grandmas. I have this handy little calendar that I keep at the house that has all of them on it. And then Facebook will tell me.
So isn't Easter like on your handy calendar? That's usually printed on there, Tommy.
But I'll give you Easter from the standpoint July 4th on July the 4th. Christmas is
it fluctuates.
Well,
Easter moves around.
But what's Easter based on? Let's see how much you know about this.
Jesus
it's
Christ.
the resurrection, isn't it?
Right, but it's where it floats on the calendar is based on the moon cycle, right?
Oh,
I believe that's right.
I don't know.
Don't ask me. Don't ask me about that.
I think that's right. So
I just want my peanut butter eggs, my Reese's.
Andy Mountain Home says he forgets St. Patrick's Day. All right, so
I can never forget St. Patrick's Day. That's my anniversary.
Hey, if you regularly go to church, they will tell you when Easter is.
All 4 services.
Yeah. We did that this year. So I need to be, again, full disclosure, need to be better at that. Maybe I shouldn't have revealed that is the holiday that I missed. What is yours? What is yours, Tommy? St. Patrick's Day is not it.
I
Because
don't
that's
forget
your
birthdays, and anniversary's easy for me because ours is on St. Patrick's Day. I don't want to say I forget like Labor Day. There's some that just. Labor Day doesn't mean we're just starting college football. It doesn't mean a lot.
You don't do a show that Monday.
Usually we do because there was a football game that previous
I guess-
Saturday. Now, we may get away with not doing one this year because they're playing on Thursday, but generally we have always done a Labor Day show because there was a football game.
I want to. If you want to, I want to do a show. That's the first weekend of college football.
Okay,
I want to be on that morning and see a real as you would say, a real radio man wants to be on after a big weekend.
But we've
so.
always been on Labor Day, generally speaking, because there was a football game.
I wonder how many listeners listen to the Best of the Morning Rush when y'all ain't here, and it takes them like an hour to figure out this isn't live.
That's always fun
don't know.
when I get text and they're like, "Why are you talking about this?" And it's like, it's a recorded show. That is Memorial Day. It sneaks up on you, but again, Arkansas.
There's so many, Columbus Day.
That's not a holiday.
What did Goodell? Didn't Goodell?
To me, those holidays, if we're not going to close and the banks aren't always going to close, then I don't know. A lot of those I don't know. So
Goodell didn't.
I know they're there, but I don't recognize them.
Aren't they pushing back Super Bowl Sunday potentially the day before President's Day? So a lot of people have.
I read that that's that would like to be their long-term goal, so that the day following.
Somebody
Super
could get
Bowl is a
elected.
holiday.
Somebody could get elected
Absolutely.
if they would push that. We'd vote for them.
So
that is something.
But guess
I'm in
what?
favor
We'd be
of.
in here working.
Yes,
so. I can think about 4 of them, like the BCS championship game, Final Four Monday.
Yeah,
just give us that Monday,
and
off.
we'll give you back Columbus Day, President's Day. Help me with 2 more holidays we could give back in order to have those days on.
We're charitable.
The Monday following the BCS, the Super Bowl, Final Four. Yeah, maybe.
Here's my hot take. I think that they should have the Final Four on Friday and Sunday rather than Saturday and Monday. I hate Monday night national
Don't the women
championships.
play?
National championships.
Yeah, they have to
you
do the
stack
women.
them. You just stack them.
Then you won't get the audiences.
See, I think if you blend, depending on, and I guess the women are on ESPN, but to me, I've always thought that's the right way to do it.
That'd be like 6 hours of watching. That's too much.
Of college basketball and Final Four?
Back to back.
I'd do it.
Give them both prime time.
Yeah. Maybe do the women's on Thursday and then do the men on Friday and then do both the championships on Sunday. That's my thought. That's a hot take.
All right. That's your Morning Rush Daily Question. Is brought to you by Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
All right, before we jump into baseball, Arkansas basketball, Bruce gets another commitment in Adu Thiero, the 7th scholarship player on this roster that signs with the Arkansas Razorbacks. More of a glue guy, role player. I really like him. He was like 6'4" as a freshman. Now he's like 6'7", 6'8". Apparently he's still growing. He's not going to take a lot of shots. He's going to be a slasher, defender, rebounder.
How many stars was he?
4. I think.
Only a 4-star? I didn't know Cal recruited 4 stars.
I think he was a highly recruited player out of Pittsburgh, Phil's hometown. But
must not be any good.
This is a you got the
That's
number
how
one.
ridiculous it's gotten.
Yeah, no, fans have definitely changed their opinion.
You do have to have role players every now and then.
Exactly.
You
You
gotta
need
have-
like a
you gotta have a
basketball.
couple.
You need like a basketball team. You
Yes,
know? You need
yes.
like a team, the team concept. Yeah.
Somebody has to pass the ball.
He's not going to be a guy that fans are just like over the top excited about, but I think you should be because again he contributes to the team aspect, and I think one of the reasons Cal got him is he's not going to jack up 20 shots a game, but he's going to do the dirty work. At least I saw that firsthand last year when they played Arkansas.
Well, the funny thing, I got some really big customers in the state of Kentucky and some good friends in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and they all hated Cal, but now they're not so sure, and when they're looking at what he's doing over here. And I'll say this: when they had the big press conference, you kind of wondered a few weeks ago what it was going to look like. Man, it's looking pretty good.
He's come along. They still got to get
backing up what he sold that night.
He really is.
6 scholarship roster spots remaining on this team. Curious where they go. If there's any other freshmen they add, transfer players, just the type of player. But they've got a good mix of, again, young guys, wings, and big men. You probably got to, again, add with the 6 spots on different positions. But you like where you're at so far.
Yeah.
All right, that's a basketball update brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Team.
Who are the best baseball teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Well, a little bit of shake-up this week. Last week we had Arkansas at the top, Kentucky at number 2, A&M 3, Tennessee 4, Mississippi State 5, South Carolina at 6. That was a week ago. Arkansas goes and, as we all know, lost 2 of 3 at Kentucky. Tennessee won 2 of 3 at Florida. A&M lost 2 of 3 at LSU. Mississippi State won 2 of 3 against Alabama. And Georgia is the team everybody needs to be watching out for. They swept Vanderbilt, and they get South Carolina this week. So this is how I've got them shaping up this week at the top of the Pradco Pyramid of Power. Kentucky got it done on their home field. I got Kentucky number 1 after beating the Razorbacks 2 out of 3. They got the best record in the SEC. They got the second highest RPI in the SEC. I got Kentucky number 1 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Well, what's my shirt say?
Rocky Top Energy.
So we're ranked number 1 nationally. Not ranked number 1 Tommyically. But I just made up a word, Tom.
Yeah.
Tennessee won the series at Lexington, so push them aside. Tennessee's won 7 straight series, ranked number 1 in the country, top hitting team in all of college baseball. They're the number 1 team in the Pyramid of Power.
I got Tennessee number 2 at 39-9. Kentucky is 35-10. Little difference there. Tennessee a game behind. Tennessee a game behind Kentucky in that East. So it's close, but I got Kentucky 1, Tennessee 2, and Tennessee goes to Vandy, who's reeling right now.
Reeling.
I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
They're not ranked.
Fall out of the poll. They're number 26 in the RPI, but like I said, not in the D1 baseball poll.
Yeah.
I think they're still in the tournament at this point, but they're not hosting.
No, I had Kentucky number 2, but, Tennessee needs to lose now. It's only the second time in program history Tennessee's been ranked number 1, obviously 2 years ago. But Vitello has breathed a lot of life into Rocky Top, but don't want to be number 1 heading in the tournament. My wife keeps reminding me that number 1 seed is at 99, hadn't won.
Miami was the last team to
don't want to be ranked number 1.
You don't want to break that curse?
No.
So me and you have flip-flop 1 and 2. Yeah. I got Kentucky and Tennessee 1 and 2. You got Tennessee and Kentucky. I got the Arkansas Razorbacks at number 3, 40-9, 17-7. Lost 2 of 3 at Kentucky, as we know. They get Mississippi State this weekend. I'm going with the Razorbacks at number 3.
Yeah, I had A&M number 3, but you could flip flop them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I put A&M at 4. They lost 2 out of 3 at LSU. So to me, that until these two teams play, they're almost 3A and 3B. Records are almost identical. They're a game apart in the total season record. 40-9 for the Hogs, 40-8 for A&M, 17-7 in SEC play versus 16-8. That's why I give the Razorbacks the edge at number 3 and A&M at number 4. A&M this weekend, they're on the road, but they're at Ole Miss, who is an upshot team near the bottom of the league, making somewhat of a case in the RPI, but still in the bottom 3 in the standings. The Hogs, as we know, are at home for Mississippi State, who I have at number 5 in my Pradco Pyramid of Power. 32-16 on the year. Their RPI this week for Mississippi State is 18th, and they are ranked 14th in the D1 baseball poll. They won 2 of 3 last weekend against Bama, who is a top 25 team. I got Mississippi State at number 5.
Yeah, we're just flip-flopping. I had Georgia at number 5.
Right.
They're the hottest team in the SEC, won 5 in a row. They swept Vanderbilt. They got the best hitter in college baseball, Charlie Condon, hitting 459. He has 33 home runs. When you look at like Missouri, he has 49 as a team. He's only 16 away from the whole team in Missouri.
It's probably your Golden Spikes Award winner, assuming that they don't fall off the cliff.
Gotta be.
And I got Georgia at 6 after sweeping Vandy. They're at South Carolina. I mean,
we'll see this weekend. State's got to play the Razorbacks. Georgia has to go to South Carolina, which will not be easy. Have y'all looked at the RPI?
No.
Any guess where Georgia is this week in the RPI after sweeping Vandy?
10th.
10th? What do you think, Ty?
Aren't they like 3?
No, they're number 5.
Okay.
Arkansas is number 3. A&M 1, Kentucky 2, Arkansas 3. Georgia is 5, Tennessee 8. Then you got South Carolina at 13, Bama at 14. State, by the way, since Arkansas plays them at 18. And Florida is at number 23. That's 9 teams in the top 25. Actually, 10 teams because Ole Miss is number 25. Now, Ole Miss is interesting as to whether or not they're going to make an actual, case for getting in the tournament. They're at near the bottom. Them and Auburn. They're going to make the SEC tournament, which might be enough. It looks like Auburn and Missouri's definitely out. They're the last team in this league by a long shot. They're 94th. You've got 13 of your 14 teams in the top 50 right now.
Yeah.
And LSU came up to number 34.
Yeah, they should have.
After beating 2 out of 3 or winning 2 out of 3 at A&M.
That's big. You called that. You were rooting for LSU, oddly.
Well, it is funny how college sports make strange bedfellows.
Yeah.
But did this weekend, so they're 34th.
The enemy of the enemy is my friend.
Yeah. Right. So now I think if it was today, Vandy's in. And I think they put LSU in because it's LSU.
How many regionals will the SEC host based on the RPI?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6.
Wow.
Oh, you said
5
regional,
for sure.
not supers. Yeah, they'll have 4 national seeds with A&M, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tennessee, and then
What do you do with Georgia though?
They could be one.
You said that there were 5 in the RPI. What are they? 13-11 overall, 14-11 overall.
35-12 overall, 13-11 in the league.
Yeah, I
would, and one of the most exciting players in college baseball.
Oh yeah, they got star power.
I don't know how they close their season, but I would be shocked if you had 5 of the 8 national seeds.
Yeah,
they will probably. The SEC will probably just end up 4. Not saying it can't 100% happen,
it's
but
the truth though.
Oh yeah, but
East Carolina was like ranked 7th in the poll.
Clemson's going to host one. You're going to have one probably at
Oregon State. Corvallis.
I don't have my phone. Where to put my phone? I had it. I only wrote down the SEC teams, but I think there's a good chance as far as top 8 national seeds. I think there's
Indiana
4 locks at this point. I think there's 4 locks with A&M, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tennessee, unless someone just completely falls off.
Is that big kid with the cream glasses playing baseball?
Baseball too. No,
he transferred to St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis. Yeah, I don't.
Georgia, South Carolina.
Listen, I like
they're going to be very tough 2 seeds for somebody.
Yeah.
And LSU's going to roll into someone's park as like a 3 seed and just wreak havoc.
Think about Ole Miss's unfortunate track record that ended your season 2 years ago. They were, I can't remember, a 3 or 4 seed, and they ended up getting hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And
last team in the tournament.
Yep.
And they won the whole thing.
And that's why Sankey and others are advocating to, again, increase stuff because they see something like that, and they're like, well, even the last team in on this conference is still good enough to win the whole thing. Which
there's 12 teams in this league that are in a legitimate, some are in lock situation, but there's 12. You go 12 deep and have a legitimate conversation about being in the tournament.
Everybody except Missouri and Auburn.
Yep.
Anybody else, you can make a case.
Yep.
Yeah. Phil said yesterday that if Arkansas wins 3 of the next 6 games, they're probably going to get a national seed. If they win 4 of the next 6, they're basically a lock. I was listening to him on halftime yesterday, and I would probably agree with that. I mean, you didn't
lock anyway.
Yeah, it would have to disaster would have to strike these final 2 series for them not to
win 2 this weekend. You win 1 at A&M. I don't care about the West. I think you're, under that scenario, probably number 4 or 5 in the national.
They got 2 series left. They're going to win the first game of both those series.
Yeah.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is, what SEC teams are paired regionally? Because you mentioned the teams that won't be hosting. So there'll be a Lexington regional, a Knoxville regional, a Fayetteville regional, and a College Station.
You should have
regional.
Vanderbilt and Knoxville.
Yeah, there will be, which would be pretty nuts.
No, they're because they in regional play, you don't get a team from your conference.
Okay.
In super regional play, you can match up.
They'll pair up. I mean, if there's
they will now. It'll be unavoidable in the second weekend, but they will not send an SEC school to another SEC school for regionals.
There's been years where SEC has had 4 teams in Omaha, and this year, could very much be one of those years based on depends on how much they spread them out, kind of like you're saying.
All right, that's your Pradco Pyramid of Power. I've got Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, A&M, Mississippi State, and Georgia in my 1 through 6. Me and Bruce pretty well agree, but we just got some flip-flopping. He's got Tennessee 1, Kentucky 2, A&M 3, Arkansas 4, and I think you had Georgia 5, and did you have State 6?
I had State 6.
State 6. So we got the same group of teams, just flip-flop some orders. All right, Ty, where did we get them right? Where did we get them wrong?
I have your exact same order, Tommy. Kentucky's the leader of not just the East, but the entire conference, even though Tennessee is number 1. It's like, it's a catch-22. It really doesn't matter which one you put. And Arkansas right ahead of A&M until the series next weekend. Mississippi State playing some good baseball, as is Georgia. Those are kind of the 2 teams on the rise in the East or in the West and the East. So, yep, I've got that same thing.
They had a ton of rain last 3 days. Sunday, downpour, another storm moved through this morning. It's going to muddy up the water on the rivers a little bit as everything feeds in, and it's going to rise, make the water levels rise, make it a little more dangerous on the rivers. What's the best approach right now when you're getting out on the water?
Well, if they're running 75,000, please stay off the river. It is dangerous. There's a lot of floaters and things. You just don't want to get in it. So go fish the lakes. Go fish beaver and tenkiller and table rock. And when that water's on the rise this time of year, post-spawn, those fish are moving up on the bank. So get your pop-Rs, get your yum dingers, wacky rig them with a 2-aught scorpion hook, and go beat the banks. Use Elder's Magic, watermelon red, green pumpkin, June bug, whatever your favorite color is, because usually it won't matter too much. And throw that yum dinger in there and watch your line jump, watch it move out in the middle of the pocket and set the hook and catch a bass and do it again.
Moon cycle coming up, about a week out, or is it 2 weeks out for May?
Yeah, about 2 weeks out.
About 2 weeks out for May. And I know April wasn't, because of the weather and the water temperatures, wasn't what everyone was, usually fired up about, but May should be kind of what we normally think of for the big bass in May versus April.
Well, if you bass fish, this is Super Bowl season. You're in between spawns. They're hitting top water. The fish are shallow. They're moving up the banks on Highland reservoirs. You need to be out getting them. And, on Dardanelle, you get backwater. You can beat the grass, beat the banks, the backs of some of these big bays and creeks with booyah covert spinnerbait. Use double willa, and you go out and catch them. Fish will get in that grass. They'll get in vegetation, and it's just a great time to be out.
All right, Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. Find that yum dinger or the pop-R or anything from Pradco. Bruce, good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
A great time to also get up on the White River right now and get to Gaston's White River Resort. They got the expert guides right there on hand. Sean White, Mike Howell, a full roster of great guides to take you out and really show you what it's all about at Gaston's. Right now, big fish are biting. Talk about water temperatures when it comes to bass fishing. That's the great thing about trout fishing. That water temperature and that water condition, for the most part, stays the same year-round because it's a tail-fed stream there coming out of the bottom of Bull Shoals. Have a guide take you out. You'll have a wonderful time. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab.
C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas basketball got another commitment yesterday and signee from Adu Thiero. Couple highlights for you. We saw him at Kentucky.
Adu Thiero gets the friendly bounce. Thiero actually got taller from last year to this year. Followed and slammed by Thiero.
6'8" sophomore, averaged 7-5 this last season for the Wildcats. Thought about going back to his hometown, Pittsburgh. Indiana, North Carolina, and Kentucky were also in consideration. Started 19 games for the Wildcats this past year. Again, not the star-studded player that maybe you've gotten 4 or 5 guys, but a guy that you definitely want on your basketball team, and I'm happy that he's here in Fayetteville.
So, number 7? That's 7 out of your 13, so you're over halfway there, and Blake Lawson's going to be one of your walk-ons. I'm sure that there'll be a hand-selected second walk-on to round out your 15, and so we'll see what these other 6 players look like. And I think the NBA draft process is going to play a big hand into the timing of how these last 6 are presented to the fan base and to the college basketball world.
Thiero is a guy that next year, if he can blossom, if he can improve his shooting a little bit, has the body to be an NBA player. There are just some areas of his game that he's got to get better at to get to that next level.
But there's guys that are definitely in consideration for the draft process this year that you're kind of waiting on, and how much NIL money's left too. That's the other thing we truly don't know about. But it seems like it's plentiful right now.
So you got one guy coming in, a couple guys that have already exited that you were wondering about their next destination. Caleb Battle has committed to Gonzaga. Devo Davis yesterday committed to Oklahoma State, where he was originally committed out of high school before changing his commit to Arkansas. Then Layden Blocker to DePaul. I wasn't really surprised by the Devo thing. In fact, when I saw his list potentially, I thought there was a possibility that they was going to end up in Stillwater, but I was a little surprised that Layden just went to DePaul. I feel like he's a better player potentially than that program, but I guess that's where he wanted to end up.
Well, and I don't know if he miscalculated his options at Arkansas. I don't know how or if there was a conversation between him and Cal, but I've been told he wasn't one of those players that was present the night he arrived. I think that was an important thing to be there when he met with the team, and it was one guy or whatever, it was 3 guys or whatever back there, but Blocker was highly sought after, and did he have a chance to maybe be on this team if things had went different? Perhaps, but here we are, and he's at DePaul.
Guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Some football additions I want to share with you this morning. Daniel Sally is a BYU defensive tackle transfer, had 21 tackles, 4 sacks, and 7.5 tackles for loss this past season. He is committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks, as has Joffrey Brown, who spent some time in a couple different places, including South Florida and North Carolina. Was originally committed to Charlotte, but is now committed to your Arkansas Razorbacks. Had 27 catches, 435 yards, and 5 touchdowns this past season, and the 8th addition for Arkansas in this spring cycle for the football program in Sam Pittman. Another 2 notes to mention this morning. Nick Bradford, former Fayetteville Bulldog, has joined Arkansas women's basketball as an assistant. And then you might need to help me on this. Arkansas has signed Finland national team player Pinja Paninen.
Doesn't sound like you need my help.
That is the 3rd edition for Mike Neighbors and company. So you've added an assistant and you've added another player for this roster this next year. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I know we had some weather last night, and hopefully, again, whether it was thunderstorm related. Tommy, you mentioned some trees being down where you are, whether it was in northwest Arkansas or the River Valley. Hope you're safe this morning. I woke up to a tornado warning, the sirens going off. For those who don't know, the tornado siren is directly above my head. I know you and Big C were sharing that you slept through this morning with the tornado sirens. We don't have that luxury, to be honest, guys. I mean, that when I tell you, Tommy, it is right above our house. It is like in a tree directly above where I live.
I don't know if maybe where I live we avoided the strongest part. I didn't even know it had rained until I got up this morning. Tried to go my normal route. I dodged a limb in the middle of the road. Then it wasn't 200 yards. There was a tree down across the road. And then turn around, go back. There was another road closed. I had to take a couple of different detours just to get here this morning.
Yeah. Well, I didn't stay up too late watching NBA action last night, but I did get a chance to watch a little bit of the New York Knicks. And I say a little bit. I watched the Knicks and Pacers. Did not watch much of the Timberwolves and the Nuggets as the Timberwolves got another big win. But it was pretty crazy inning last night between the Knicks and the Pacers and MSG.
Dixon DiVincenzo, 3 Dante DiVincenzo puts the Knicks up 3. Up ahead, Halliburton. Turns it over. Knicks have it. OG Anunoby dribbles it out. And game 1 belongs to the New York Knicks.
121 to 117 in the finals. The Knicks take game 1. Jalen Brunson, 4th straight game with 40 or more points. You were talking about this morning the controversial offensive foul that was called on Miles Turner late in the game. And they looked at it. It was not overturned. There was just a 1-point game at that point. I think it was 118 to 117. But after that, Knicks took it.
Yeah, and They did look at that foul, and it was a illegal screen. I didn't think it fit the rest of the game, and such a big moment to call that, but it was an illegal screen. But Pacers led, like you said, Pacers were, I don't want to say in control of the game most of the way, but they had the lead most of the way in that game. And there were a couple of, there was one to end. There was 2 long shots. Someone from the Pacers hit one that was about a 50-footer, I believe, to end the first quarter. Then another one to end either at the half or another one that
Hartenstein or
whatever. Yeah, Hartenstein hit. That was like a 50-footer.
Yeah, it was
going
great.
into the locker room. That was kind of a fun deal. But there was 2 buzzer beaters to end the period.
And you got Oakley and Starks and Marbury and some of these other Knicks on the sideline. That was an underrated rivalry back in the 90s. I mean, Knicks and Pacers, right? The NBA timed it up. You got Reggie calling the game in the Garden, former Pacer, one of the better Pacers that's ever played for that franchise. It was set up for, it's never going to, again, equate to what we saw in the 90s, but one of the better rivalries that we've seen in the NBA that maybe didn't reach the Bulls and the Pistons or the Lakers and the Celtics, but still a lot of fun for those that remember the back and forth between Ewing, Miller, and those guys back in the 90s.
All right, more coming up on Arkansas basketball. It's brought to you by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all of your real estate needs, go to lindberghteam.com.
We got hour number 3 coming up in just a bit. We mentioned some guys in the NBA last night. Some Hogs in action tonight. Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, Daniel Gafford. Mavs versus Thunder in Oklahoma City. First game later on tonight at 8:30. It's either 8 or 8:30 on TNT. Some other Pro Hogs in baseball, too. We will get into all that. Plus, our friend Tom Murphy joins us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Hour 3 coming at you next.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Nothing
says summer fun like fishing with a Thill bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fitzman. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fitzman can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fitzman can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and control access for your business. Call the Fitzman and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Ty, that's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is the reigning champion of my own conference, Robert.
You do realize that's not a thing.
Well, I did receive a plaque commemorating that accomplishment.
Yeah, and I was elected the president of Mars. Anyway, Hog fans, it's that time again.
It's baseball season. And Hog fans, the Stadium Shop has everything you need for Razorback baseball.
From t-shirts, sweatshirts, man cave stuff, and even a Razorback original, the Bases Loaded beer hats.
Plus, ladies, as well as a restocked women's section, we have the Bases Loaded beer stein boppers.
Yeah, it's kind of like those old-time space alien antennas, you know.
Yeah, well, not really. So
when you're in Fayetteville, stop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road, next door to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can shop us on them WW Interweb, FaceGram, you get it, Matthew.
Dad, do you mean the website?
Yeah.
Which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
As always,
go Hogs!
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunshine, a chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms early. Our high this afternoon right around the low to mid 80s. Tonight, mainly clear and overnight low upper 50s to low 60s. And then Wednesday, we're looking at a few rain showers, few thunderstorms. Our high temperatures on Wednesday into the mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your morning.
ESPN 95.3.
It was a tough month physically and mentally. A couple of days off and then just a little downtime, not having a midweek game should pick up their energy level, some strength, and it doesn't. The past is the past. We're in a good situation with our wins where we're at, and we need to just go forward. From here on in, we just need to swing the bat.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile sneers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you into hour number 3 of the Morning Rush here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. That was Dave Van Horn, Swatters Club yesterday, talking about his baseball team, hopefully getting some more life after a few days of rest. Saw them lose in Lexington this weekend. They host Mississippi State, close out their season on the road in College Station before traveling to Hoover, Alabama, as they begin postseason play. There's been questions asked about what could change with the starting pitching, left field, and others. Tom Murphy of the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports, is going to answer those coming up. Before we talk to him, we're going to tell you what's going on with some Pro Hogs in just a sec.
All right, that coming up in a minute. We are brought to you this morning by our friends at Farm Credit. Hey, when it comes time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the financing options that's best for you. Visit myaglender.com or drop by any of the Farm Credit of Western Arkansas's 25 locations today and get started on building more family memories. That's myaglender.com, myaglender.com, and find any of their 25 locations.
This is the Lindsay & Associates Pro Hog Update.
Giannis over to Bobby in the corner. We'll take it. Oh, Bobby's got it.
Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay & Associates can handle all your real estate needs. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Clackton 1-3. Drives instead and hammers it home. Well, that young man's aggressive.
Christian, big game tonight on TNT. Your Dallas Mavericks taking on my Oklahoma City Thunder. 3 former Razorbacks, 2 from Fort Smith, 1 from El Dorado, going at it tonight.
Yes, sir. Daniel Gafford came up big for the Mavericks in Game 6 against the Clippers Friday night, scoring 13 points. The Mavericks closed out the Clippers 114-101 to advance to the Western Conference semifinals, where they will face Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, and the OKC Thunder. That game's tonight, Game 1. Now, like you just said, I'm Team Gafford, but this will be a fun series. You got 3 former Razorbacks that will all see playing time in this series.
That's pretty cool. Daniel, I would say, has been quite a catch for the Dallas Mavericks. I know he probably likes playing closer to El Dorado than way out in Washington, as do Jalen and Isaiah, less than 3 hours from their hometown. But in Oklahoma City, I would guess there's a lot of people in Northwest Arkansas here in the western part of our state, in the River Valley too, that at some point these next few games will make their way to Oklahoma City or Dallas. It's the 2 closest franchises with the exception of Memphis, Tommy. So this would be a series to go to, even if you're not a big Thunder or Mavs fan, if you're just a Hog fan.
Yeah, and people are paying attention. So, I mean, good to have some of your former Razorback players, but also good to have teams in your region. We kind of get the double whammy on this, or double bonus. I guess it's not a whammy. It's a bonus, particularly with the Thunder.
Yeah. And now we'll see which team comes out. You'll have a Razorback in the Western Conference Finals regardless. It's either going to be two guys or just one, Big C.
Yeah, and Bobby Portis and Patrick Beverly got eliminated by the Pacers. Anthony Black's Magic lost in Game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So you've got three still in it.
Yep. And I guess Jordan Walsh, too, with the Boston Celtics that get going against the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's not going to play. The good thing about tonight's game is you'll see three guys that actually play. Gafford usually starts. Jalen comes off the bench. So I don't know how many times they'll match up against one another, but you'll probably see it at some point this series when there's some subbing here and there.
All right, now in the MLB, a guy that's getting the most buzz right now, Heston Kjerstad for the Norfolk Tides has been tearing it up. He's got 30 hits and 85 at-bats with 10 home runs and 30 RBIs. 10 of those RBIs came in one game. He's batting .349 for Norfolk, and he's had 9 at-bats for the Orioles this year. He's got 2 hits, which is good for a .222 batting average.
He got called up, and I guess he got put back down. That's happened not just with him, but other guys we've seen. Just hoping he makes it. I mean, this was a guy that they spent a lot of investment in, being as high of a draft pick as he was. Heston, we saw, even as a true freshman, had a major league body. I remember when he got on campus, I was like, Tommy, there's no way this kid's a freshman. But we saw instantly that he is a guy that can have success in the major leagues. Just hope it works out for him this early in his career.
What was the injury he had, or the illness? It was the heart problem, right?
Yeah,
he had a heart issue that was same one that some with COVID had, and that set him back a year or more.
We talked about it on the show, and
it's where you get the fluid around.
Yeah, it's
the lining of your heart.
Abnormal. Like, I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard it before.
Yeah.
We talked about it with Heston.
Anyway, my point is that set him back a year or so of his pro career once he'd gotten into there. So hadn't had that, there's no telling, how far down the track he might be at this point.
Yep. All right, that is your Lindsay & Associate Pro Hogs update.
Brought to you by Lindsay & Associates. They're celebrating more than 50 years in the real estate business. They're the leading real estate company in Northwest Arkansas. Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay & Associates can handle all of your real estate needs. They have 200 professionally trained agents, 3 convenient locations, Fayetteville, Rogers, and in Bentonville. Hey, they're the winning choice. Go to Lindsay go to Lindsay.com to search all of the current real estate inventory. That's Lindsay.com. At Lindsay & Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
Chris in Fayetteville's in myocarditis.
Yeah,
Am I saying that right? Thank
right.
you, Chris in Fayetteville. Myocarditis. And texting on the McLarty Daniel hotline. All right, before we get to Tom, let's talk to Brent, who's in Searcy. What's up, Brent?
What's up, Ty? Tommy, what's up?
Good morning, my man. What's up?
Hey, the only thing I want to ask y'all is, are we still going to lunch tomorrow?
Tomorrow. I can't tomorrow. What's tomorrow?
I have actually.
How about you?
Yeah, I will be ready. I've actually knocked off my calendar with the intent of, because I know you had talked about it, Brent, so we can definitely go to lunch, buddy.
All right, get my number from Christian, and you just tell me where to meet you and what time.
You got it, man. It's on Tommy, so we'll make sure we eat good.
Oh, it's on the station. Okay, let's roll with it.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey,
somewhere nice with a drive-through window.
What do you think about the Hogs this weekend? I think we'll recover. I think we'll take all 3 games this weekend.
Yeah, I think in regards to this past weekend, Brent, appreciate your call. I'm excited for lunch tomorrow. We got to remember, you went to the number 1 team in the SEC. You won game 1 handily. You got blown out in game 2, and you had a chance to tie it up in game 3 with really I would say the bat you won in that situation, with the exception of Peyton Stovall. You want one of the Peytons, right? You want Peyton Hood or Peyton Stovall with a chance to tie or win the game. I don't think there's any other guy that you would put above those two. Peyton has shown it the past year that when he's in a clutch situation, 9 out of 10 times he's probably going to come through for you more often than not. And unfortunately, his what could have been home run fell 10 feet short at the end of the game. So, again, you lost to a really, really good baseball team, the number 1 baseball team on the Pradco Pyramid of Power, I might add. Mm-hmm. And now you sit coming at home against another good baseball team in Mississippi State that's playing some really good ball right now. And you finish out with A&M, who's nipping at your heels in the SEC West. So I think, again, we have to, as good as SEC football is, we always have to understand the amount of talent within this league, both coaching and playing. And while I still think there are some hitting issues, if someone brings those up, I'm not going to dismiss those because I think those are clear and evident. Just look at the statistics. You just have to remember the caliber of opponent you're playing each and every week. And Brent, like you, I do think they'll bounce back this weekend at home in the final regular season finale against the Bulldogs.
Yep. And you feel like anytime Hagen Smith is pitching, you're going to win the game. You need to win the two he's going to pitch in the season finales, and then you go win two more, and I don't think anyone's got any concern. I think hitting's going to come and go. You just needed to be there at the right spot. You got to remember, once you get through the SEC tournament, you may pile up some runs in the regional when you're playing a different level of opponent that you're going to see in that regional tournament.
All right, let's talk to our friend Tom Murphy here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline.
Now, let's talk to Tom Murphy on the Morning Rush.
So, Tom, that has been a question that several of our listeners have got at us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline about this baseball team in this past weekend. I want to ask you about this upcoming weekend. We heard Dave talk about it this past weekend in Lexington. We heard him talk about it at the Swatters Club yesterday, which I think you were at. Do you think he makes a change in the starting pitching rotation? And when I say change, do we see Gage Wood in the starting lineup this weekend?
Well, good morning, everyone, and always a pleasure to be on with you. I think, obviously, the first time he said something, which was Saturday night, and he used the specific term, Gage Wood is, about to take somebody's job. That's just a warning, and that Mason Molina heard that, and Brady Tiger, and I think it kind of sets the expectation. I've got to do better, and so Molina again had trouble with control on Sunday, but I didn't get the sense yesterday because we talked to Dave after he spoke to the Swatters Club. You mentioned the thing about Gage Wood. Have you made a decision? He wasn't prepared to do that yesterday, and so it makes me think that there's been fair warning, and they'll look at the matchups. And I think, if you want Gage Wood right-hander versus the Mississippi State lineup on Sunday, or Mason Molina left-hander. But even if they stick with Molina, you know that Gage Wood will be the longest
on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. After losing the series at Kentucky, Arkansas and Kentucky basically flip-flopped 2 and 3 this week in the RPI. In your estimate, in your opinion, is Arkansas already a lock at this point for a top 8 national seed, or is there still work to do?
Well, probably still work to do. And I heard you mention if you win the 2 Hagen-Smith starts the next 2 weekends and then add 1 or 2 wins on top of that, then I think you're a lock. But, I mean, you know, Arkansas fans are used to Hagen-Smith Friday automatic. But you think back, you know, the South Carolina game, 2-1. Florida game, 2-1. There's just some teams that have held Arkansas down. And sooner or later that could catch up to them. And you just don't want to lose a Hagen-Smith start. You know, I think if you're an Arkansas fan, you look at it like, okay, Dave Van Horn teams always seem to find a way, and that's why I probably feel like they might win the series this weekend, but maybe not sweep. But B, there's enough concerns that have piled up. Team batting average, clutch hitting, you know, hitting with runners in scoring position, runners on base. The length of your starters behind Hagen-Smith. There's enough of those issues that have piled up that you do have concern. If things click along, yeah, they're top 8, you know, national seed. But the way Mississippi State's playing, you know, Dave is just hoping that having these 2 days off, which would have been yesterday and today, the hitters, you know, they're concentrating on finals and all that, and when they come back, they're going to have a little bit more energy. Because to me, that's the key to unlocking everything, is just to have more guys getting on base and more hits when people are on base.
Yeah, and you mentioned all of those concerns, and they're reasonable, they're valid conversations with the hitting, and to me, the Saturday and Sunday starting. But despite all of that, they're 40-9, and they lead their division. So if this team is ever half as good as the fans seem to think they should be, as close to perfect as some of our callers have thought they should be at this point, they're going to be pretty scary, because despite all those things you listed off, they've won 40 ball games.
You know, it's just amazing. Every fan base's expectations come with what's happened before, what's happened since, where are you right now. And I think it was somewhat cathartic for Dave Van Horn yesterday to stand in front of the Swatters Club crowd, because that's exactly what he said. It was like, you know, it's amazing. Here we are at 40-9, a better pace than last year by 3 games, because they were 37-12 at this point last year, and that was a great season. And yet we're unhappy. You know, we're not satisfied, and that's the truth. Because you just lost a series to Kentucky where some things happened with the pitching, you know, giving up runs that just hadn't afflicted them yet this year. And so in the here and now, there are concerns about clutch hitting and then what the pitching staff did in giving up runs. And until this weekend comes, we won't have any more answers. But after this weekend, we'll have a lot more answers.
Tom, you mentioned the pitching staff. 2 other guys he mentioned, Hunter Dietz and Colin Fisher, both out for the season. And I think we knew about Dietz already. And Colin, he just kind of let you know they weren't going to be starters, but possible bullpen guys. How much of an impact do those injuries have on this pitching rotation?
Well, Fisher certainly would be a guy that when you got into the postseason would have given you some innings here and there. I mean, he could have pitched an inning. He could have been a spot starter if you got to a game 4, that type of thing. So I think his loss has an impact. You know, Dietz, I don't know if they were really counting on getting any innings out of him this year, and he got a couple, or you know, parts of a couple of games. So the Fisher one hurts a little bit, but there's enough depth in that bullpen. You know, that if Parker Coyle can, you know, pitch a little bit better, you know, locate better, and some of the other right-handers, that they would have enough depth. And certainly if Gage Wood emerged as a guy who could give you 5 innings in a postseason game, you'd be in better shape.
So the A&M weekend, Tom, has been flexed to television, which I know a lot of Arkansas fans were happy about. Would you like to see the SEC, starting with the additions of Oklahoma and Texas, do this option for all baseball games next year? Because I know there's a lot of fans hacked off that a top 10 matchup was not on television.
Right. I guess they just try to – I can't get into the minds of the executives of SEC Network, ESPN, who want to set that schedule at the start of the year. Certainly, I think they might want to look at all the games in May as being flex. So, that's a question for them. But yeah, I mean, if you set, and I don't really know how all the scheduling goes, but if you set a hard, fast schedule and then teams don't perform like you thought, let's just say LSU was on a lot of TV in May. Well, they're having a down year. Ole Miss having a down year, and it's inevitable. SEC baseball is just like football. Every team, particularly in the West, thinks they're good enough to get to Omaha and win it all, and they have proven that in recent years. But in the course of a season, things will happen, and some of those teams will struggle, even though they're really good teams.
Yeah, I mean, to me, we hold the football standard to the other sports. They do a lot of the same stuff in basketball, and I think eventually, once you're working with one television partner in all your sports, which is where we're headed, this will catch up. This will, some of this philosophy, because now with the fiber and the studio facilities and everything you've got on campus at all the facilities, some of that will catch up. Hey, real quick before we go, just quick thought on Cal, now up to 7 signees on his roster. We're a little over halfway there with Thiero coming on. So, I mean, things are starting to become a little more in focus with the future of Arkansas basketball.
Exactly. And it was kind of my thought from the beginning, give them time, have some patience. This will come together. It has. I think Adu Thiero will be a good addition. I think his offensive game still needs a little polish, but he's a strong defender, certainly a physical type of guy who, could finish through contact and that type of thing. And I think will be a top-level defender. And so give him a little bit more time, and I think a competitive roster will be in place.
All right, Tom, we'll leave it there, man. Appreciate your stuff on baseball and basketball, and we'll talk some football maybe on Thursday.
Sounds good. See ya.
All right, Tom Murphy with us each and every Tuesday and Thursday morning here on the Morning Rush. Hey, we're brought to you by Arts Barbecue, burgers, and more. The burgers are always something that, A, are tempting, and B, there's a variety of them that are now on the menu at Arts Barbecue. They got 10 different burgers you could choose from, including one of my favorites, or it's become one of my favorites, the brisket burger. They top it with brisket, caramelized onions, and then they use their original Arts Barbecue sauce and cheddar jack cheese melted all together. It's absolutely delicious. So try the Wild West burger, topped with the hot link jalapenos and Arts hot barbecue sauce. If you like it a little more flaming, they've got it at Arts. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or 452-2550. Call ahead, they'll have it ready.
Our era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland,
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest.
It depends on the charges.
In a 3-1 pitch to Sprague Lott. There's a high drive by Sprague Lott. He got all of it. Way out of here into the Hog pen. The Hogs' second home run of the game.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
So we've talked a little baseball this morning. We're going to change up the conversation. I don't know if any of you caught some of the things that were said from Tom Brady and to Tom Brady, but it was quite entertaining on Sunday. We'll share that coming up, his roast in just a bit. Maybe an athlete that we would like to roast, but I'll tell you a guy that wouldn't roast is our friend Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources, who now joins us. Larry, did you catch any of that Tom Brady special or see any clips or anything?
No, I nearly watched that. I should have. I missed the whole thing.
It's pretty funny, man. I don't know if there's someone in particular that you would love to see roasted or that you would love to do the roasted, but it was pretty funny. What's going on in May, man?
I think we could do a pretty good roast on Tommy.
Oh, yeah, we
Oh,
can.
yeah, that'd be easy. That'd be easy.
That'd be easy pickings, man. We should set that up. That'd be a lot of fun. But we got a lot of good things going on over here at Ralph Auto Resources. We're really excited about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. Sales tax paid when you trade. We need those trade-ins, folks, and we're willing to pay to get them. So it's a great time to come on in, trade your car in, get something better and nicer at Ralph Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. You know, we've got a big selection, cars, trucks, SUVs. We've got them ready to go, road-ready certified with warranty. You cannot buy a better used car than what you're going to get at Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith or Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Speaking of Mitsubishis, big incentives on the new 24 Outlanders, and we've got a big selection of those, a bunch of them in stock. Folks, if you haven't checked out that vehicle, come on in for a test drive. Just see what you think about it. I mean, it's a money saver. It's a great-looking car, just a state-of-the-art interior. All of the high-tech stuff that you're looking for is just a terrific vehicle with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty on it, so you can't really beat it. We've got a good selection of those. So it's a good time to buy. It's a great time. We'd love to have you come in and see us. Check us out on Facebook for the Winning and Grinning Give-A-Palooza. We got a big Mother's Day giveaway going on. And if you hadn't taken care of that yet, that'd be a way for you to have some fun and do something nice for the mother in your life. And we've got a lot of other good things going on, too. We hope you'll come and see us. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, that's Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Larry, enjoy what's been a stormy morning, hopefully a great afternoon, and we will talk to you later on this week.
All right, you guys have a good day. And folks, come see us.
So Brady had a couple funny one-liners, including what he had to say about Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Kansas City, you say your stadium is the loudest. It helps when all your fans are 14-year-old girls. And in honor of Tay-Tay, let's take a look at the Chiefs eras. Terrible for 50 years, good for 5. Shake it off.
So a shot
Good
at
for
Chiefs
him.
fans.
Good for him.
Also, a shot at his former wife.
There have been a lot of jokes tonight, but the truth is, I miss the love of my life, football.
Now it keeps on going. Now, I will say, he gave out and he also received some of it, including between one of his rivals, Peyton Manning, which watching Peyton and Tom go at each other was one of the more fun quarterback duels that we've seen in the last 20 years. Peyton Manning is entertaining. I know you're a big Omaha Productions fan. You like watching him in Peyton's place and stuff like that. Listen to this little rib that he gave Tom Brady on Sunday.
For those that don't know, Coach is going to be doing some work on Eli and my Monday Night Football show this year. I got to tell you, it's going to be awesome. Eli and I are super excited, and it's going to give Coach Belichick something he hasn't had in a while, the chance to be around quarterbacks that he respects.
And it didn't stop there either.
Not to brag, we're both pretty good players. My handicap is a 6.4, while Tom's handicap is blowing leads in the Super Bowl to my brother Eli.
Just kept on going.
Well, that's what a roast is supposed to do.
I thought it was great. I didn't watch it live, but I watched some of the clips. I would like to see, if I had to pick out a baseball player and a football and a basketball player, A-Rod is the baseball player and LeBron is the basketball player. I don't know how those two would take it. Tom actually took it, with the exception of one Ross joke about Kraft. I thought he took it in good fun, because it's one thing to like say, oh, I can do this, and then you actually experience where people do not hold back. I thought for the most part he was pretty. I think he was pretty good.
Charles Barkley would be great because his retorts would be awesome.
Oh my gosh!
And everyone would love to get a dig in on Chuck. So I think that would be a awesome celebrity roast.
Take away my LeBron pick. I will jump on ship. I will jump on the bandwagon of your Charles Barkley idea.
Let's just stay in the state of Alabama. I think Nick Saban, because I think his retorts or comebacks would be well played, well crafted as well.
He just has that dry sense of humor.
He's funny.
Them on stage with one another, an Auburn guy, an Alabama guy.
Yeah.
They seem to have a relationship of some sort. I think that would be watchable. I think that would be hysterical.
It'd be entertaining TV to say the least.
I wonder how Saban would handle that. I think Charles would handle it good fun. Do you think Saban?
Yeah.
You think he'd take it?
Yep.
In stride?
Yep.
Well,
I think now that he's flipped the coaching switch off, I think
he's good to go.
I think he'd be good to go on something like that, particularly with his former players and some assistants. I think be his chance also to dig back at the media a little bit. I think that'd be an entertaining watch. Hey, we're brought to you by the Hickey and Hull Law Partners. They have 4 locations around our state. They're in Northwest Arkansas, they're in Fort Smith, they're in Mena, and they're in Little Rock as well. So wherever you're listening this morning, if you find yourself in need of a new attorney or, life has happened, and whether it's a divorce, whether it's a criminal matter, civil matter, you're being sued, you need to sue somebody, these are the folks you need to turn to, the Hickey and Hull Law Partners. 479-434-2414. 4 locations, but call that one number, and they'll get your consultation set up, and you can visit with Kevin, Brad, or any of their team and get the process going. 479-434-2414, or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
What did Dave Van Horn have to say about the A&M comments? We'll let you know next.
Follow the show on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine.
This is former Razorback, wide receiver, and All-American track and field athlete Richard Smith, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building your next fence. The Fence Man recently built new gates for my existing fence. The whole process was easy, quick, and most importantly, affordable. Plus, 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available with The Fence Man. If you need a new fence, gate, or anything that involves a fence, call The Fence Man, 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Morning Rush.
Child's plays. Touchdown.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
It's 2024. Let's go see what's new at the Golf Nut. Peen G430 Max 10K driver. Peen's straightest and most forgiving driver. TaylorMade QI 10 Max woods and irons with 10K inertia, making it the most forgiving driver ever. And Cleveland Launcher XL2 woods and irons. Call Matt Brooks for a lesson, 646-4430. And start a new year with more confidence on the course. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994.
Husbands, sons, daughters, honor your wife or mother for Mother's Day at the inaugural Mystery at the Fort Legacy Ball, benefiting Heart to Heart Pregnancy and Family Care Center on May 11th at the U.S. Marshals Museum. Buy your tickets today for this 1940s mystery dinner, coupled with an exciting night of investigative entertainment and lively dancing with the band Who Shot JR. For more information, call 479-452-2260.
Billy, can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Seriously, we are getting a lot of positive comments about you. What's your secret?
Oh, really? I just follow the 4 W's.
4 W's? Aren't there 5?
Fine.
Yeah, what, where, when, why, and who.
Wes, who starts with an H?
That's how.
I don't know how. It just does.
No, who starts with a W?
You sure?
Positive.
Anywho, my 4 W's are, what would Wes want? I picture every customer like there's you asking for something. What you want is what they want. What would Wes want? W, 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 4 W's. Makes 8 U's.
Huh?
Treat customers like you, and it doubles to people. Pretty simple the way I see it.
4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and always online at burtonpools.com.
All right, let's get into your SEC update. A lot of SEC teams in the latest D1 baseball poll. Tennessee finds itself. It's the number 1 team in the country, as Bruce was talking about earlier in the program. A&M's 3, Kentucky's 4, you're at 5, South Carolina at 13, Mississippi State at 14, and UGA at 15. Two teams, again, remaining in that poll. Vanderbilt and Alabama have dropped out recently after losing this weekend. That is the latest of the D1 baseball poll. And
RPI tells a different story, though. A&M 1, Kentucky 2, Arkansas 3. Then Georgia's at 5, Tennessee's at 8. South Carolina at 13, Bama at 14. State, this weekend's opponent at 18, and Florida at 23, Ole Miss at 25.
As long as you're
so a little bit different. I mean, I don't know which one's going. I mean, I don't think the D1 baseball poll. They're both polls a snapshot. The RPI, I think, is what the committee's going to look at a little stronger.
Yep. The thing with Arkansas being in the top 5 of both is the most important thing. And
I agree.
Think about being a national seed. D1 baseball poll is the one the NCAA uses. So, in my opinion, it has the most authority of any of the 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 polls, whatever it is, coaches polls.
Too many polls.
In baseball. And then you include the RPI. That's why I think it's pretty significant. Last night, the Minnesota Timberwolves took down the Denver Nuggets in game number 2. Anthony Edwards, former Georgia Bulldog, had himself a game.
Timberwolves have gone up 2-0 in this series on the road against the defending champion Denver Nuggets. I don't know that a lot of people had that on their cards coming into the series.
I'm going to be honest, Kevin. No one had that on their cards. Anthony finished 11 of 17. He's plus 18, ended up with 27 points. Was fantastic, as was former Kentucky Wildcat Karl Anthony Towns, who also had 27 points. That was without Naz Reid, also contributed, former LSU Tiger, with 14 points. As you guys brought up, that was without Rudy Gobert, who experienced the birth of his child and was out for this game last night. So as good as Nikola Jokic is, he was not enough for the Denver Nuggets to even up their series against the Timberwolves. He didn't have a great game, 5 of 13 on, for his standards, 16 points, 16 rebounds, and 8 assists. Again, for his standards, only 16 points is kind of low.
Yeah, and what do you do? Birth of a child, you want to be there for your wife. Child's not going to remember one way or the other, but I don't fault him at all for missing it. Playoff game, that's a little different than a regular season game.
Yep. Didn't matter, though. Now they go back home. They're up 2-0. Finch is one of the better coaches. He didn't win Coach of the Year. That Dang Holt for Oklahoma City, who are in action tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. So 3 Razorbacks and Daniel Gafford, Jalen Williams, and Isaiah Joe all in action tonight. Now, we played the comments from Jim Schlossnagle, the Texas A&M head baseball coach, talking about potential cheating going on in a home dugout in the SEC. Dave got asked about that yesterday at the Swatters Club because some thought that it might be Arkansas just because of what he said about the batting average difference. Here's what Dave Van Horn had to say.
So we actually talked to him about it. If you really look at the numbers, you need to look at one of the other schools in the other division. But whatever. Those are things that you shouldn't put out there, in my opinion.
I am curious what comes out of this from if there's any discipline action taken by the conference. Dave Van Horn doesn't seem to be concerned about it because he doesn't think it's his baseball team. So
no, he knows it's not his baseball team.
So that was, again, the short response to that question asked yesterday.
I think it's crazy that these coaches have to make decisions on replay and whether or not they want to use up a challenge. And I'm not sure what they have available, but a lot of times you're looking at the board, or a lot of times Dave will go right to that signal of kind of putting the headphones on, looking at the play live, which I don't think is good either because you get emotional about it.
Yeah.
But I understand you don't want to tip pitches, but we have now given the technology with watches and they're texting in stuff, and they got the wristbands, and they've got you saw players from Kentucky that had the charts like a wide receiver would have on their belt. Is a live feed in the dugout that the coaches can watch just like me and you can at home really going to be a huge advantage if everybody has it? I guess I need more understanding about that rule and that why that's prohibited.
So that's A&M next week in College Station. Their head baseball coach talking about that. That game's been flexed. I know, Tommy, you were probably happy to see that it's been moved to actual television, and really all fans are excited about that. So next Thursday, when you start that series, we'll be on ESPN2, and then you'll play the other two on the SEC Network according to Whole Hog Sports.
So all 3 on linear TV? Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. And I know it's about announcers because they generally don't use the school's announcers, just like we had to listen to them 2 dudes from Kentucky. They don't want to listen to our guys either. And I think our guys are right more down the middle. In fact, Brett Dolan, sometimes it feels like he's not in the Arkansas camp, and I think everybody wants him to be. And, we know Troy Eklund's background, but, I think it's about trying to get your broadcast teams, whether it's Dave Neal or Tom Hart or, Chris Burke or Kyle Peterson in place to do these games. And I think you knew at the beginning of the year Arkansas and A&M was probably going to be a pivotal series in the SEC West. Maybe next year they can flex more of these in the second half of the SEC race.
Yeah, because they apparently leave the last week of the season to be able to do that. So that is what you have
to need to expand that.
Yeah, that is what you have to look forward to next week. One other thing here in your SEC update, Adu Thiero has committed and signed with Arkansas basketball, your 7th signee for this basketball team. This kid's 6'8", 7 points, 5 rebounds, started 19 games last season for the Kentucky Wildcats. A kid that's not going to give you necessarily 20 and 15 every night, but definitely someone that you want on your basketball team. Evidently, Cal was excited about, and as you should be, he's not going to be the same, again, bring the same excitement level that some of these other 5-star freshmen or Jonas Adu or one of the other guys Big Z has brought, but definitely I think a key component on this team starting this upcoming season.
All right. That's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Their 46th anniversary being celebrated right now. Incredible deals on in-ground pools, savings up to $12,000 with construction starting this spring. Be swimming this summer with Burton Pools and Spas. Above ground pools up to $1,200 off. Doughboy semi-in-ground pools. Save $5,000 off, and spas begin at just $39.99 right now. The 46th anniversary sale, Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com.
Do you have one of your youngsters graduating middle school or junior high coming up?
They don't do a middle school. I don't think they do a middle school graduation. They do an elementary graduation, but I don't think they do a middle school graduation.
I know that's something that some schools do, some districts do it, and some don't. We've got, again, finals this week for the Arkansas baseball team before they host Mississippi State. Some of you have connections, son, daughter, grandson, granddaughter, niece, nephew, whatever, that are going to be graduating school this weekend, not just at Arkansas, but other places. High school graduations are coming up. This is
got a few invitations in the mail.
Yeah. Do you, when you get those invitations, and for someone like myself that is going to a graduation thing this weekend, what is the, in your opinion, I heard Derek and Zach kind of talking about this, and I had thought about this. I was like, this is something I wanted to talk about, and then they talked about it. What is a respectable gift, or do you gift?
Well, I don't think you have to gift everyone. I think the ones that you've watched them grow up, your relationship with their parents, your how close are you in that family? How close is your family in that family? I think that's how I would look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a few that we're closer to than others. I've got probably 3 or 4 or 5, I don't know, invitations in the mail.
I got some decent high school graduation. I don't think I got anything in college. I didn't want. I almost felt like guilty, like sending out those things in college that I was graduating, because it's like that's
a life achievement.
Yeah, college or high school though.
I mean, you needed to mail those out. Let everybody know they lost their bet. They were betting against you.
I wasn't going to graduate. Even with the 3.73. Thank you very much, University.
I mean, I don't mind the announcements for high school. I felt then that, is graduating high school really? I mean, I don't mean this the way it's going to come, but is it really that big of an achievement? I mean, to me, that's expected. Graduating college is a much bigger achievement. I'm not saying graduating high school isn't, reaching a goal, but it, that probably comes out wrong. But you should grow up expecting. You should expect to graduate high school. Not everybody is going to go to college. Some will go into the family business, get a trade. Nothing wrong with any of that. But I mean, it's a milestone, but at the same time, it's not like anybody grows up and says, well, I sure hope I graduate high school.
John in Nashville I was waiting on one of these texts on the McLarty Daniel hotline. He says it's a money grab. Let's not kid ourselves.
If you gift them a gift card or you send them $50 or whatever, you're probably not going to miss it, and it'll mean more to them. And you know what? They'll remember it 25 years later.
JB in Greenwood said, congratulations on making it through the easiest part of your entire life.
I mean, text in here on the McLarty. Am I wrong in my sentiment about graduating high school?
Well, you kind of danced around it. Yeah, you should expect it.
I mean, forget about the money and the gifts and all that. That's fine. That is respect for their parents, for watching that kid grow up, whatever your relationship is.
I would say,
and I'm not sure, and I'm not saying it's not worthy of dinner and balloons and a ceremony and all that. I'm just saying it can't be the biggest moment or the biggest accomplishment in your life.
I would say, with the exception of those that may have because I don't want to lump everyone in this category, with the exception of those that may have a learning disability or some sort of like prohibitive that maybe makes it harder for the everyday average Joe. Yeah, it's high school. You should aspire to be more than just a high school. And I'm not talking about.
There should be bigger things that happen ahead, whether it's a promotion at work, whether it's, becoming a master plumber. I grew up and it was like, if you don't go to college, you're a failure. That is so wrong, because we have so many people out there that are skilled at carpentry or welding or plumbing or whatever it is. You hired a plumber lately?
Trade schools.
They make good money.
Yeah.
Hired an electrician lately? They make good money. You don't have to go to college to be a success in life.
Trade schools are way more cost effective nowadays, and there's more people that are needed because there's less applicants in certain areas of business. But I was just curious because
my daughter's a surgical tech at the hospital. She's making a good living. Went to and got 2 years of education on that. There's a lot of good ways to make a living out there, and you don't have to go to 4 years of school.
That being said, when Dylan graduates high school, I will make sure to get him something that he will enjoy and probably invest. Right? He'll invest in something.
No, he invests in like V-Bucks or whatever.
That's something. I did see a pastor that spent like $40,000 on Candy Crush the other day with the church's money. I don't know if you saw that story. So yes, he was subsequently fired after that.
You think?
Yeah, and deservedly so. I appreciate everyone joining us here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Adu Thiero jumping on the Arkansas basketball bandwagon, as are some other guys in the coming weeks. Excited to see how else they fill out that roster. For Tommy Kraft, for Christian Johnson, Bruce Stan, Sherilyn Gassaway, and Tom Murphy. I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Bandwagon Tuesday. Back in these chairs tomorrow. What's Your Beef Wednesday, 6 a.m.
Who can you trust to sell your